it myself, and I feel like it's just dumb. Okay, I got this. It's gonna be great. It's really weird. After like I get into the groove of it, I'm fine. But the first like intro, me and AJ's fine. Welcome and thank you, Coffee Beans, for joining us on our new series from Esports and Coffee, Corporate Connections. My name is Jacquie Lamb, and I am our second host in our new series. I'm one of our co-founders for ENC and Corporate Connections. We created this as our new and upcoming talent within the esports and education ecosystem, as well as taking a deeper dive into important topics into our ecosystem. Today, I have Lynzie, and we are here today to talk about esports degrees. I'm really great at talking today, and a deeper dive. Lynzie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and take up space?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. As Jackie said, my name is Lynzie Wagaman. I'm currently the Assistant Director of Esports and Partnerships at Harrisburg University. As you can see, we're also the HU Storm. I have our tornado behind us. And I graduated from HU as well. So I went through the Esports Management, Production, and Performance degree program. So I do have an esports degree. And I'm excited to chat about it and share my experiences from my internships, my classwork, and to the past year that I've been in my role.
That's awesome. I love that you kind of like went that path, and I'm really excited to like dive really into all those like specific details.
Mm-hmm.
Let's kind of start with what kind of drew you into esports initially.
Yeah, definitely. So I grew up around gaming, but I think what really drew me into the space was the community from Overwatch. So I had actually started out as an Overwatch gamer, really enjoyed playing, really enjoyed the Overwatch League, got heavily involved in the Philadelphia Fusion community, and went to a few events, met some friends, and we actually went to the inaugural finals in New York City together. And it was a really great time, and just the atmosphere of being in an arena full of esports fans, I just felt like it was a space I needed to be in and to kind of help survive. And I was just set on finding whatever way I could to make that happen. And that happened to be at Harrisburg University. And they actually didn't start the esports program until I was about in my second semester. So I came in as an interactive media major, just kind of focusing on, at the time, graphic design and social media graphics. And as I kind of progressed through, I really wanted to focus on the back end and business side of things. So I was taking more business classes and really just trying to find what my niche was, because I think that's what the degree program really does a good job of. It gives you the experience and the opportunity to get your hands on everything, but you can also funnel through and find the one thing that you want to focus on.
What did you play in Overwatch?
I played Diva. So that was my main hero, the main person I played. But once I made the transition, because I originally played on PlayStation, once I made the transition to PC, I started playing more DPS. So I would play Soldier 76, a little bit of Hanzo, but mostly Soldier.
I was a rat. Like, man,
Really?
I was, man, those bombs, I would just like throw them, and oh, man, that makes me, man, I wish they would bring back Overwatch 1. Memories. That was a good game to play.
Mm-hmm. It
Okay,
was.
so you graduated with an esports degree. What was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was scary, I'll be honest, just because, being one of the first graduating classes from this program, there was a certain pressure of, okay, how do I make this successful for myself, but also for the university? And I think, kind of alleviating that pressure and realizing that I'd built a network and really built up a great community around me, I was able to land where I am now, and, keep moving forward.
Were your classes similar to traditional classes? Like you said before, it was like a business. So were they like, you have your generals, and was it kind of the same, or were you more heavy focused on like gaming and esports assignments? Kind of walk us through that a little bit.
It was kind of a mix of both. So they do a really good job of balancing your esports classes with electives and general courses. So when you start as a student, you're really focused on your general studies, but then they also put you in a major specific course your first year. So I think I was in one or two once I started in the esports program. And you have like intro to esports, competitive gaming, contemporary issues in esports. So you really get a taste of like the trends and current events in the industry. But then you're also taking things like creative mind, scientific mind, um, technical writing. I also took a good amount of business classes as electives. So I was taking like intro to entrepreneurship. Um, and I think there was a marketing class as well. So it was a really holistic approach to an esports degree because it wasn't just esports, it was business classes, it was interactive media classes with photography. So it was really a mix of anything I wanted to do, but I was able to take what I wanted and apply it into esports.
I think when people think the term esports, they just wrap it up as people gaming in basements. And I know a lot of us like think others think that, and there's just like this mindset of that, and it's so hard because when we talk about esports, it's not just esports. Like there's
Hmm.
like the titles that we're talking about, and then there's all the tier lists, and I swear those change. Even the terms are changing so much.
Yeah.
And it's just like the Rocket League team is an esport. Like
Hmm.
it's a team. And then you have all the back of house production, that it's all the marketing, it's all the staff, it's everything. And you need degrees to learn how to do that, to get education and experience. And what I got frustrated with all the Twitter drama in this past spring is that people are just like, you don't need an esports degree, it's not really worth it. It's like, but what you were just saying of all those other classes, you're taking traditional classes with just more of an emphasis to gain more experience, to hone those skills, and to
Hmm.
learn more about what is the trends and what is happening right now.
Yeah, my class was focusing on marketing really taught me how to analyze and create marketing plans. I learned how to create, target sheets and really go through and evaluate partnerships. And I think, with other degrees, yes, you have that, but the application and the ability to apply it to esports is something you really get in this program.
It's so good. Okay, so you're Harrisburg's the assistant director of esports and partnerships. Can you walk us through how interviewing for that position was and how you landed the position?
Yeah, so it's actually very interesting. Um, so the interview process was almost non-existent because they actually created this role for me. So I was pulled in during my last semester to kind of chat with some higher ups at the university, and they were like, "We have this idea. We think you'd be a great fit as the assistant director, focusing on partnerships. Just keep it in the back of your mind as you're finishing up your studies, and we'll be in touch." And I went and finished all of my classes and coursework. Went out and worked with EG for a little bit, uh, and then while I was actually working with EG, I got a text saying, "Hey, here's your offer letter. Um, let us know what you think." And we went back and forth a little bit, and I think it was like a month and a half after I officially graduated, I was starting, or I had signed the offer letter and started on July 5th. So I was incredibly fortunate that they really saw something in me and saw the potential that I had from my abilities as a student, and they didn't want to let me go just yet.
How did that make you feel, like knowing that they like wanted to put that into you, and that to show you have that value, and that they wanted to like keep you that much?
At first I was really terrified. So I was like, this is a lot of pressure. Like I still don't know what I'm doing. But then, after evaluation and just kind of personal reflection, I was like, well, I do know what I'm doing. And if all of these people believe me or believe in me and what I can do, why don't I believe in myself? Because I clearly have what it takes and I can learn whatever else I need to. And, it eventually turned into a sense of pride where I was feeling very fortunate that I had a role in my career field after I graduated, because that was not the same for everybody in any major really. So I was very happy and very lucky.
Yeah, I feel the same way when I started at MNSU. I was in school at the time, and then I was working with the school and consulting with schools, and then I got hired right after I graduated. So I felt very lucky at that time, and I loved my position there, and it kind of like jump started my career
Hmm.
with that. And it just makes you like you said though, it's really scary. But I think the community is just really welcoming to offer assistance and guidance. Like I just saw in Antor's Discord, someone's like, I just got hired on as a collegiate coach. I've been working in high school. I kind of don't know what to do. Does anyone have advice? And I just know people are going to offer him really good advice. I'm sure people are hopping in his DMs. I feel like the community is just really open to offering that type of advice.
Yeah, and especially also just working at the institution that I graduated from, I knew who I could go to if I didn't know something or if I needed advice. And I think that was kind of the one things or kind of one of the things that really secured me and really made me feel secure in this role was I knew the people, I knew the institution, and I knew where I could go next if I needed help.
How many positions are full time at HU, and like what type of degrees do you guys have?
In like the varsity program or like across the whole university.
Well, for like esports and the program.
Gotcha. So for the degree program, we have three professors. We have Jennifer Metz, who currently leads the program, and she has, I think, a PhD. And then we have Tom Screech and Tom Panico, who both have masters, and they're associate professors in the esports management program. And then on the varsity side, we have director Mike Navarro. He was almost done his PhD. I know he's thinking about going back at it, but he has his master's. And then Nick, Ian, and Tanner. I think Nick has his undergraduate, and so does Ian. They were both working towards their masters, but didn't quite finish. Um, Nick, our Rocket League coach, his degree is actually in outdoor recreation. So it's quite different than what you would expect from anybody in a role like that. I believe Ian's is in engineering. Tanner, he just has a wealth of experience. And I think Mike's master's or undergrad is in communications.
But that's still like a pretty big like house for a program on both sides, like for
Mhm.
teachers and for staff. I feel like it's not just one person. I feel like that's pretty nice.
Yeah, to have coaches be full time, to have staff be full time, to have professors be full time, it really helps support all of our students. And I think that's something that kind of other programs don't quite have, and I hope that changes in the future.
Hmm. Okay, so do you think having an esports degree helped you better understand what you're doing now?
I would definitely say an esports degree helped me understand what I'm doing now. Um, you know, I I felt almost like before I started the degree program, I was kind of outside the cusp of the industry and wasn't really sure how to break through. And I think this degree program really kind of opened those doors and led me into places I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to be before. Like we went to DreamHack in the first esports summit. And I think that was one of the things that kind of really changed my trajectory was meeting people there, talking, making connections while still being a student. And I think that was so beneficial, and I wouldn't have been able to do that really with any other program. And it even helped me, do what I'm doing now, like I had mentioned earlier with my classwork. And then, of course, the EG internship, working with them as a partnerships intern, it was so applicable and so transferable. It really set me up.
So why do you think some people don't think esports degrees are real? Or
Mhm.
how do you think you can help a student out, or should maybe if they're thinking getting into an esports degree instead of a traditional one, maybe just kind of sway them one way or another, or because I just feel like some students, it they just feel like if it's on a resume, it's gonna hinder. That's kind of the feeling I get from some people, and I don't see that personally.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what you were saying earlier of like, well, we have this thing, it's called esports, but it's not just video gaming. It kind of encompasses all of the things that you really need to do anything, not just in esports. Um, can you actually repeat the question, Jackie? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Why do you think some people don't think esports degrees are real?
Mm. I think some people don't think esports degrees are real just because they haven't seen many of them, but also because just the biases they have on the industry. It's, oh, my kid's just sitting in front of a computer all day playing video games. They don't realize all of the career opportunities, all the transferable skills, everything that you actually gain from not just playing games, but also researching and looking at other companies and really just exploring the industry because it's an industry. It's not just a video game or video games. It's a business, there's companies, there's investors. It's a whole bunch of different things that I think, parents and students may not realize until they're actually in the space and learning about it.
I think I know that there's that one graphic where you can see kind of like it's that really pretty graphic, and it's like
It's the one
here,
that like webs out, right?
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think there needs to be like here is what is in an esports degree in but because there's like the broadcasting degrees, there's like the marketing
Mm-hmm.
degrees, and I think you can like do one of those. Someone needs to do one of those and branch it off and be like, here's what's the classes of that, because then maybe can people can articulate and see it, because I'm a really visual person,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see in my head obviously what is in an esports degree, but also
Mm-hmm.
esports degrees, like what we're saying, it's not just one thing. There's so many different avenues of what you can be in, and just an over general esports degree, I think you need to break it down into so much more. But I think someone needs to make one of those. So whoever wants to
Yeah.
make
We'll
one,
we'll get
someone,
on that for
yeah,
sure.
someone needs to. So you have a couple people who have a PhDs. Do you think and I've seen some postings about PhDs as a requirement for that. Do you think that in the esports community that people should be continuing on to getting their masters or PhDs?
I think it could go either way. I definitely think continuing education, even after you have your undergrad studies done, is incredibly important. And if you do it in a master's degree program, that's amazing. If you go forward to a PhD, that's also spectacular. But I think there's also something to be said about industry experience and the application of, getting out there, getting your hands dirty and your hands on at events, at productions, at really anything you can get to. I think, there's the validity in both. And it's really, I would say, up to an individual to decide what they want to do. Like right now, I don't feel I need a master's, but down the line, if I want to progress into higher roles or if I want to go back and teach, I think that it's something I might explore. But the only reason I think I'd want to get a PhD right now is I want to be Dr. Lynzie. Like that would be cool. It's
Yeah.
it's just a vanity thing, but I feel like it would still be an incredible accomplishment. But again, I think there's validity in both, but it's really tough. I think in esports right now, there's sides to both, and I think we'll kind of see that continue to change over the next few years as, higher education in esports might become more consistent and, people get esports degrees and then they go on to get masters and who knows, maybe there'll be an esports PhD one day. That'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I think it just depends on the individual and what their goals are.
I know that there are some people who are like doing their dissertations and they are like doing their PhD levels on esports related
Yeah.
items. So I did get my master's, and I wanted that higher level of education because I did want that higher level of job. I realized
Mhm.
that the type of job that I wanted at the time, the jobs I was looking for, it said the requirements was a master's because I had a bachelor's at the time. Just full transparency, I went to Rasmussen College to get my bachelor's. I wanted something super fast, super
Mhm.
online because I had kids and I just didn't want to go to traditional school. I actually did the horrible, like I flunked out. I couldn't do traditional like 4 year, and if I had esports growing up, like I probably could have. I probably wouldn't have. But when I was going to get my master's, I felt like I had a lot more experience then, and I really learned a lot through the classes, and that's what I enjoyed the most. And I had a lot of experience and I learned a lot, and I'm considering getting my PhD in education. But one thing I would like to press about the masters is in collegiate specifically, a lot of programs want their directors or assistant directors to also teach. And at the
Mhm.
collegiate level, you need a master's to do that. And so if you're considering getting into collegiate esports, you might want to start pursuing your master's by
Yeah.
going and working or going to a school and playing while getting your master's, getting
Yeah.
doing
And
the GA position.
I hope that that continues to be something we see because, I think that's a spectacular opportunity. So many students, they have the opportunity for their undergrad, but I think at the graduate level, esports still has so much that they can do. And I mean, we've seen it at a few schools, we've seen it from players, but also just, administrative assistant roles. But again, I think there's so much that can develop to help students get those higher education and master's degrees.
I think another thing students should look at is if their school doesn't have a GA position, they should ask their varsity program if they can create one. Because one of the things right
Absolutely.
before I left is it's not that hard to create a GA position. They're usually government funded, and it you just have to like do the paperwork and fill it out, and ta-da! It's not that easy, but like you're
Nothing in higher education is.
it takes longer than that. But if your school doesn't have one and your director is only one person, a GA position is the next best alternative to being able to hire a full-time person. And so pitching that to your director would be a great like step to continuing education, getting those free credits while getting well technically paid, and then getting experience and then moving up into a director position eventually.
Definitely.
Okay, so we talked a lot today about esports. What do you do with your free time?
Great question. I am still trying to figure out how to spend most of my free time. One of my favorite things to do is go thrifting. So I have several thrift stores in my area that I like to frequent. Actually, my keyboard right here, I got at a thrift store.
No way.
um, yeah.
That's really cute,
So
actually.
thank you. I like to go around and see what stuff they have, like home decor, clothes, office stuff. Um, Really, it's just a fun way to relax and de-stress, but also get that little bit of dopamine of, ooh, I found a treasure, a little trinket.
And I saw on Twitter that you been keeping up with hitting the gym? Like
I
you started
haven't
a
been.
thread?
I tried. I
Okay.
really tried, but I got sick and I just wasn't. I just didn't pick it back up. The seasonal allergies hit me too, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm making so many excuses. Like I should not be, but it's really something that I'm trying to get back into. And I actually tried to get a gym membership, and because I had it assigned to a different email, and when I went to sign up again, they said, "Oops, sorry, your information's already in here. You can't sign up for that." And
Oh.
I called them, and they were like, "Haven't got back to me."
Oh no.
So I'm being gate kept from the gym. So I'm really trying,
Oh no.
but it's a struggle.
Just do stuff at home. Over
I
COVID, I
know.
slowly just bought machines, like very
Mm.
slowly, so I pretty much have like a home gym at
That's
home.
awesome. What's your favorite one to use?
So the rower
Mm.
is what I have, and I have like a little underdesk peddler that I try and get
Oh,
like 2 hours in a day, and that's kind of what I do. And I do not go to the gym because I tried, and I am super gym phobic because I don't like people staring at me.
Yeah.
And I just gained so much weight over I got bad news in the spring from a
Mhm.
diagnosis, and it's gotten better. But with that, like health wise, and it's gotten better. But like being able to like stay home and like just do stuff by myself, it's just really nice. And
Yeah.
I'm a hermit, and I don't like to go outside.
Me neither. I love to nap too. How I spend some of my other time.
Yeah, like a cat.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you do like anything else? Friends, family, like what else to do?
Yeah, my partner and I actually have our gaming station set up right next to each other. So his is on my right and I'm on his left. So it's really fun to be able to like sit at my desk and play games while he's over there playing games. And it's just a cute way for us to bond. But we also like to go out and try new restaurants. So he's a really big food person. I guess I can call him a foodie. And it's a really just fun to go out to like hot pot, and we like to go out to ramen and really just check out new places and see what's going on around us.
Do you guys ever get like do you guys like Andy and I, we used to have stations right next to each other, but we had to like distance ourselves because we would yell too much. And
Oh,
especially
so
we don't play like the same genre like at all.
mhm.
Like I play first person shooters and he plays League of Legends.
Yeah,
And so we didn't really ever play the same games, and people our teammates could always hear the other one yelling. Did that ever
we
happen to you?
thankfully we don't have that problem. He plays primarily Magic the Gathering,
Okay.
so he'll have like Magic the Gathering on one screen and maybe a YouTube video on the other, and he'll lean over and be like, "Is my YouTube video too loud while I'm playing Valorant?" And I'm like, "You're fine. Nobody can hear a thing."
Wait, that's super cute. That's super nice. Okay, so if is there anything else that you'd like folks to know about you or your program? What do you want? What would let me start over. Is there anything else that you would like folks to know about you, your program, organization? What would you want them? What would you want it to be?
Yeah, definitely check out Harrisburg University's Esports Management Program. You can find information on our website. You can check out the HU Storm on Twitter, and you should be able to find the website link to the program information there as well. But also keep an eye on the Storm. We've got some stuff coming up, including the Hugh Invitational in September. And we're well, not hopefully we are running summer camps in about a couple of weeks, and we're excited to have some students in here and really teach them the basics of the industry and hope to kind of set a little spark so that they can become industry professionals.
Well, thank you so much, Lynzie, for being on our new Corkboard Connections show. I really appreciate you. And what's your last thoughts on an esports degree? Yay or nay?
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Absolutely.
Okay, thanks everyone, and we'll see you next